My brothers and sisters in loss prevention, if you are frustrated by your store's no-touch policy, I've got some ideas for you here today. Hi, I'm Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. I'm the creator of the Investigator's Ultimate Guide series, which is premium private investigator training from someone who's been there and done that. You know my story. I started at zero. First job out of the military was as a security guard. Put on that polyester shirt and cheap tin badge, went around and pulled on doorknobs to make sure they were locked. I moved from there to state licensed private investigator for 9 years, owning and running my own agency. That's how you pay the mortgage, the cars, the groceries, the whole 9 yards. I did it and you can do it too. And one of the steps that I took along that path, the first job I got after working uniform security was as loss prevention. Did that for 5 years full time. That's about 10,000 hours. If you're looking for a gauge of somebody who may be at that expert level, this is not a die-hard gauge, but 10,000 hours is one of those thumbnail ideas that's tossed around online. I've got those hours and just hundreds and hundreds of apprehensions under my belt. Back then, we'd go full on. We'd cuff them, we'd chase them, we'd wrestle them, we'd bring them back. Different world now for a variety of reasons. Also, as an older guy now, I'm not interested in laying hands on people like I used to be. So while I don't work loss prevention now and am grateful, it was the most fun job I ever had. But I remember as they were toying with this idea of no-touch policies, that I would find that frustrating to just have people just get away with it over and over again. So let me share with you some ideas. Obviously, deterrence is what the store really wants. You know, if you see something going on, calling a sales associate, having them come over, be around the person, that type of thing. That's probably the best win from the store's perspective to prevent that loss. Now, I'm not opposed personally to approaching a person who's committing theft, and maybe your store does that. And to my recollection, and the way it was about 80% of the people that I approached for theft, they just lowered their head, came back to the office with me. We processed them for theft and prosecuted them. So there are going to be a lot of situations where you can take somebody, you can apprehend them without having to lay hands on them. If your store allows that, I think that's wonderful. But if the person is absolutely just not going to come with you, if you can't bring them back within your store's policies, look, here's the two things that I would suggest. One, build the case. Have the file, digital or physical or whatever. So you save the video, you have the evidence of the crime. You get the license plate number. You put together a strong theft case, just like you would for the ones you do prosecute. And number two, you deliver that, you have that brought to either the police detectives for your department who are going to pursue it, or you can bring it directly to the prosecutor's office as well. Now, a lot of times, bringing it to the police department, maybe they have a fraud and forgery department or whatever it might be, whatever squad handles that in your area, they're going to be able to take things like this video, this image, the license plate number, which is going to be critical, and they can start to put together the case for you, identify the person, and they will bring it to the prosecutor's office. Or again, if you have that information and you're able to run plates and say this is the person and the description matches and we have these other elements that make this is our guy or gal, you can go straight to the prosecutor's office as well. The nice thing about this is a certain percentage of those people who absolutely refuse to come back with you, who are diehard in their theft, a certain percentage are going to get prosecuted, and that is very rewarding. And especially if the prosecutor sees your case and they file charges, there's a really good chance you're going to get a conviction out of that, right? Either for the offense or for a lesser included offense while they accept a plea bargain for a lesser included crime, which is really honestly a win. If this makes sense to you, if your store does this, if this is something that you find might relieve some frustration for you, or that you want to kind of start to put this stuff together, present them to your supervisor, your manager, your district manager, whatever it might be, float these ideas out there, it might find it gives you, first of all, as loss prevention, a chance to practice some of your investigative skills. And if you need sources and methods to help you with that, my book 51 Weird Private Investigator Tricks That Actually Work, that's a great place for figuring out who people are, tracking down information, address histories, all that kind of stuff. But so you can at least, at the very least, practice your skill set and improve within our industry, making yourself a better version of yourself, which is vitally important. In the meantime, this is Larry Kaye with ShadowAnyone.com. Remember, do the right thing, even if it's the hard thing.